Okay, this is the live Drive Jive archive, and we are headed through Guomao right now. The sun's coming up, or the sun's coming over. The sun is shooting through the sky at 1,000 miles per hour over a flat, level, motionless plain. Welcome. It is Monday. Today, I believe, is the 22nd of November. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be, whenever you may be, whoever you may be. Welcome to the Live Drive Jive archive as we make our way through Guomao way later than should be. So it is like 6:42 a.m., which is far later than I ever leave. This morning I got up and I had some tasks that I don't normally have to do. Like I had to print some things for my son that he needed for school. I didn't know about that. I woke up and had to get that done. So you know how it goes. It's Monday. We're late. Chances are I'll just be late to breakfast. Everything's starting a little later, that's all. But the traffic, oh God, the traffic will kill me. You can see that I'm just sitting here right now. So it'll be slow going. It'll be interesting to see how much longer it takes when I leave this late. Typically, I leave the house at 6:15, but today I didn't get out of there till like 6:35. Look at this guy's just coming over. Come on, man. Fuck. He's just squeezing his way in. Doesn't give any kind of fucks. Zero fucks to give. Yeah. So there you have it. There are the Dak Huchar that I showed you guys just the other day in a short video that is titled Guomao Tower. So I was at the Guomao Dasha here on the left side of the street, and here on the right side of the street is the famed Dak Huchar, which are the big underwear. It's an interesting building. I believe it was built by a Swiss architect. So I hope everyone's doing well out in Happy Land. I'll keep this one short because I'm battling with traffic and I don't want to. I want to focus most of my energy on just driving and calculating the time. Just keep an eye on the time and road conditions. Had a relaxing weekend, spent most of it just chilling, resting. Went to a Mexican food restaurant last night. When you live in China, I don't recommend Mexican food. There's just no way to get authentic or good even Mexican supplies this far away from Mexico. So we had some beef nachos and some tacos, a quesadilla. None of it was very good. I was just like, yeah. I mean, being from Southern California, you have a bit of a high watermark for Mexican food that anywhere outside of Mexico itself and Southern California, maybe Texas, you just can't meet that standard. There was a time about probably 10 years ago when a few Mexican restaurants opened up that did really well. I don't know, maybe they had a supplier. They were importing like really high quality corn tortillas and good cheese, queso, and they had some good recipes, so they were cooking up the meats and stuff and doing it all correctly. Maybe they had some guys importing spices, but that didn't last long. There's like one Mexican restaurant that a lot of the local expats, like foreigners that live here long term, will go to. There's one in Shuangjing and one in Sanlitore called Qmex, and these guys charge like 100 kwai for a burrito, and I've eaten there a few times. It's not great. They try to be like an Asian fusion Mexican restaurant, and the local expats here will swear by it. But I'm suspicious that the folks who laud QMex, they don't really have any Mexican food experience. They just say, it looks like a burrito, must be a burrito. And that's not the case. No two burritos are equal, as you may say. Other things, been listening to Steiner. Oh, here's kind of an interesting report. I was listening to Steiner's, one of his lectures, Rudolf Steiner, one of his lectures that was given just over 100 years ago. It was given on the 13th of November, 1923, and it's called The Higher Worlds and How to Interact with Them. And so he's going through the various levels of spirit that had been laid out during the Transcendentalist movement and the Theosophical Society back then at the end of the 19th century, and so just there at the beginning of the 20th century. And so he said that the human mission while on Earth at this time, according to him, and according to that teaching, mystery school tradition teaching, is to fully actualize your use of the astral body in dreaming and in legitimate, like, spiritual path working, not just daydreaming and fantasizing, but genuine lucid path working. So I think the difference between the two is pretty big. Like, if you're just sitting and musing mentally and visualizing your way through things, then there's not a legitimate, like, preform experience. Like, you're not seeing with the astral light, and therefore the quality is quite different. But when you've done your internal practice for a while and gathered energy and luminescence, the light, pulled it down from the Ein Sof, the limitless light, then the astral is illuminated with a different quality. And rather than just seeing things generated by your own individual consciousness, then you're viewing, like, higher level, legitimate spiritual preforms that exist, I mean, in coordination with your consciousness. But so here's the other thing he got into. He said the average student and adept of spiritual systems, and when learning this type of thing and interacting with it, you should avoid over intellectualizing it, even to yourself. So avoid giving it descriptions. And then the other key thing, so he gives a few practices, a few exercises you can do to connect with it. The other thing is, he said you should avoid using the rational mind to try to describe it to others, because it devalues the experience, and you end up putting it into words and descriptions that aren't accurate, and it can make it. You could start to represent it erroneously in your own mind. And I thought, good God, right when I start thinking of a new direction for the channel here on YouTube, where I want to engage in spiritual exploration and experimentation, and then convey those experiences to others to make a genuine, a genuine track record for people to grow from, myself and others, as an archive, then I've got Steiner telling me I shouldn't do that. So the basic prohibition is to know, to dare, and to be silent. So he reinforces this over and over and over again, that you really just shouldn't talk about it. And I thought, well, doesn't that limit the transmission then for other people? So the exercises are laid out, and I'll start to go over them, those and the ones in Franz Barden's material, Initiation to Hermetics, if you're so interested. Then he goes on to say, someone who has achieved a higher level and can battle the tendency to become detached and still places a high value on humanity and thinking, and cherishes and loves people, and hasn't become, what's the word he used, apathetic towards others, then this type of person has the ability to describe these spiritual phenomena without error. And I thought, okay, so there is a window. There still is an open window there for conveying the transmission of spiritual reality. And I thought, am I a suitable dude to do that? And I thought, yeah, I am. I looked over at my son and my wife and, just various people I see throughout the world and society and stuff. And I thought, I do have that reverence of humans, reverence of humanity. And I do view people as sacred, integral parts of our journey on earth. And, whether it be my own wife and children or just a passerby in the street, I do have that reverence for life. And I've had it since I was a young boy. And I remember feeling great, what's the word? Whenever I saw suffering, I felt great sadness for whoever and whatever experienced the suffering. And I remember at a very, very young age, I used to think, why should there be suffering in the world? And if we can figure out anything in this lifetime, it's to alleviate the suffering of others and our own suffering as well. And I thought that was a pretty good pursuit for people. And it always baffled me as a conundrum why people should be made to suffer. Obviously, having grown up a bit, I realized that there is resistance out there that can help to make people stronger, and there is certain unseen factors that come into play. So you can't know all the causation behind everything, but if the Hermetic principles hold true, then thought is the first cause, and there's something within the realm of the mind of individuals who encounter those things that there is some reason for it. With that said, we're going a little long in the tooth. We're coming up on our exit. We made decent time. There wasn't any huge upsets in the traffic conditions. So let's get some yos. Come on. Get some yos out there in Happy Land to finish off. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one. Guide and protect us. I hope you all are all doing well out in Happy Land. Y'all good looking sexy people. Cthulhu has risen. I will see you in the abodes of the future.